Have you ever snapped at a friend over a tiny passing comment? Or felt a sudden, heavy wave of sadness for no logical reason? We've all had moments where our reaction completely overshoots the reality of the situation. When this happens, our immediate instinct is to look around for a cause. We blame the traffic, the email we just read, or the person in front of us. We assume the current moment is entirely responsible for how terrible we feel. But author Eckhart Tolle offers a different diagnosis. These intense surges aren't actually reactions to the present situation at all. They are detonations of old, unprocessed pain from your past. Think of it as a hidden reservoir of emotional baggage. It sits dormant inside you, entirely invisible, yet it actively drains your daily life energy to sustain itself. Over the next few minutes, we are going to look at exactly how this hidden reservoir operates and walk through a concrete 4-step pattern interrupt sequence designed to disarm it. Understanding this mechanism changes how you experience your own reactions. Instead of being a victim of your emotions, you start to see exactly why they happen. There is a common phrase that time heals all wounds, but time alone does very little. If emotional pain isn't processed when it happens, it doesn't fade away, it accumulates. Ignored hurts from childhood and old traumas collect beneath the surface to form a dense entity Tolle calls the pain body. Because this mass is always looking to wake up, it turns your nervous system into a powder keg, making you highly reactive to everyday stressors. You can see this operating when you find yourself holding on to a grudge for years, feeling deeply defensive over a small piece of constructive criticism, or sliding into a sudden, heavy spiral of self-pity. The real danger here is its stealth. Because this process runs quietly in the background, it secretly drives your behavior, causing you to repeatedly recreate toxic arguments and self-sabotaging relationship patterns without even realizing you are doing it. Eventually, we fall into an identification trap. We become so accustomed to these explosive reactions and heavy moods that we assume they are permanent character traits. We mistake the emotional pain for our actual personality. As long as this accumulated hurt remains unobserved, it will continue to dictate your future decisions, hiding perfectly behind the disguise of simply being who you are. Healing starts when you break that disguise. You must sever identification with the emotional surge. Many people try to do this by fighting the emotion or trying to suppress it entirely. Resistance just feeds it more energy. The goal is to step outside the feeling and watch. Step 1 is to pause. When you feel that heat rising, freeze your actions and remain entirely silent. Step 2 is to notice the physical sensation. Drop out of the narrative in your head. Scan downward and locate the actual physical tension in your body. Step 3 requires a linguistic shift. Mentally name the feeling as a completely separate entity. Instead of saying to yourself, "I am angry," say, "There is anger here." You are no longer claiming the emotion as your identity. Finally, step 4 is to observe it. Hold your attention directly on that raw physical feeling. Be curious about it. Allow the tension to exist exactly as it is, without feeling the need to act on it or fix it. This 4-step sequence actively cuts off the pain's power supply. Unconscious emotional patterns require your complete, unthinking participation to survive. When you introduce clear, conscious awareness into that space, the reaction falls apart. We may never control the external triggers the world throws our way, but we can finally manage the internal detonation before it takes over. It is important to remember that this isn't an overnight magic trick. Consistent observation slowly starves and weakens that accumulated mass over time. It is a progressive, daily practice of reclaiming your ability to choose. So here is your challenge for this week. The very next time a sudden surge of irritation or sadness strikes, use the sequence. Pause, notice, name, and observe. Don't fight the feeling, just be curious. As you execute this process, you will actually feel the emotion lose its grip, run out of momentum, and quietly fade away. Practicing this means the events of your past no longer possess the power to hijack your present moment.